I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Insight into Chemical Engineering. In this lecture series, we will solve the unsolved problem of a famous book, Stoichiometry and Process Calculations by K.V. Narayanan. These lectures are helpful for chemical engineering students because process calculations is a core subject for chemical engineering branch. And during lecture, step-by-step solution will be provided. And in this lecture, exercise number 3.75 to 3.77 will be covered. Please like and subscribe for motivation. Now problem number 3.75, in the chlorination of ethylene to dichloroethane, the conversion of ethylene is 99%, and it is given that if 94 mole of dichloroethylene is produced per 100 mole of ethylene fed. Calculate the overall yield and the reactor yield based on ethylene. So first we will define the overall reactor yield. So overall yield can be written as moles of reactant converted to the desired product divided by total moles of reactant charged to the plant into 100. Now we can also define the reactor yield. So in case of reactor yield, we will take the total moles of reactant converted. Now total moles of C2H2 fed to the reactor is 100 mole because it is given that 94 mole of dichloroethylene is produced per 100 mole of ethylene fed, which means moles of ethylene fed to the reactor is 100 mole. Now conversion of ethylene is 99%, which means 99 moles of C2H2 got converted. Now, as per problem, it is given only 94 mole of dichloroethylene is produced per 100 mole of ethylene fed, which means 94 moles of C2H4 got converted to desired product and rest moles, that is 5 moles of C2H2 got converted to undesired product. Now we can write the plant yield will be equal to 94, which is moles of reactant converted to the desired product divided by total moles of reactant charged to the plant, that is 100 mole into 100, and it will come out as 94%. Now we can write the reactor yield. In case of reactor yield, we need to take total moles of reactant converted. So conversion is already given, that is 99%. So 99 moles of C2H2 got converted. So it will become equal to 94.95%. Problem number 3.76. In the manufacture of methanol by the reaction of carbon monoxide and hydrogen, some formaldehyde is also formed as a byproduct. That means first reaction is the desired reaction, second reaction is undesired reaction. So a mixture consisting of CO and H2 is allowed to react, and product analyzed contains 2.92% CO, methanol, formaldehyde and hydrogen, which means product contains CO and H2. So all of the moles of CO and H2 are not converted to CH3OH and HCHO. Certain moles of CO and H2 got converted to desired and undesired products, and rest amount came out as unreacted in the product composition. Now we need to find the percentage conversion of the limiting reactant and percentage excess of reactant and percentage yield of methanol. So what we can do, we can assume the total moles of product. So depending on that, we can do the back calculation. So for example, if we have obtained 100 moles of product, then what was the amount of CO and H2 fed to the reactor? So we can assume total moles of product is 100 mole. Now product composition is given, so based on that we can find out the moles of CO, methanol, formaldehyde and hydrogen. So moles of unreacted CO will be equal to 2.92% of 100 mole. In the same way, moles of unreacted H2 will be equal to 70.8 and moles of CH3OH produced will be equal to 19.71 mole and moles of HCHO produced equal to 6.57. Now we can write the desired chemical reaction, and from this reaction we can say that for producing 1 mole of CH3OH, 1 mole of CO will be required and 2 mole of H2 will be required. So available amount of CH3OH which is present in the product is 19.71 mole. So we can write 19.71 mole of CH3OH will be produced from 19.71 mole of CO. Now in the same way we can write 19.71 mole of CH3OH will be produced from twice of 19.71 moles of hydrogen, because here the stoichiometric coefficient of H2 is 2. Now write the undesired chemical reaction. Now moles of HCHO produced is 6.57. So in the same way we can write 1 mole of HCHO will be produced from 1 mole of CO and 1 mole of H2. Therefore 6.57 mole of HCHO will be produced from 6.57 mole of CO and moles of H2 will be consumed equal to 6.57. Now we can estimate the total moles of CO fed to the reactor, total moles of H2 fed to the reactor. So total moles of CO will be equal to moles consumed in reaction 1 and 2 plus unconverted amount of CO which is present in the product. So initial moles of CO will become equal to moles of CO consumed in desired reaction plus moles of CO consumed in undesired reaction plus moles of CO unreacted, and it will be equal to 29.2 mole. Now in the same way we can find out the total moles of H2. So it will be equal to moles of H2 consumed in reaction 1 and 2 plus unreacted moles of H2. So initial moles of H2 will become equal to 116.79 mole. Now rewrite the desired and undesired reactions. Now in part A we can say that from reaction 1 and 2 theoretically 2 moles of CO combine with 3 moles of H2. We have two reactions, one is desired, one is undesired. So from reaction 1 we can say that 1 mole of CO combines with 2 mole of H2, and from reaction 2 we can say that 1 mole of CO combines with 1 mole of H2. So overall we can say that 1 mole from one reaction, 1 mole from second reaction, which means 2 moles of CO combines with 2H2 plus 1H2, that is 3H2. So 2 moles of CO combines with 3 moles of H2. So available amount of CO is 29.2 moles. So we can write that 29.2 mole of CO will combine with 43.8 mole of H2. So we have done a simple calculation. For example, 2 moles of CO combines with 3 moles of H2. So 1 mole of CO will combine with 3 by 2 moles of H2, and available moles of CO is 29.2. So 29.2 will combine with 3 divided by 2 multiplied by 29.2, and it will come out as 43.8 moles of H2. So these are the theoretically moles of H2 that will combine with available amount of CO, but we have already estimated the available amount of H2, that is 116.79, which is greater than the theoretical amount of H2, which means CO will consumed completely. So CO is the limiting reactant. So we can find out the percentage conversion of CO, and it will be equal to moles of CO reacted divided by moles of CO fed to the reactor into 100. So moles of CO reacted can be estimated as moles of CO consumed in reaction 1 and 2. Or in another way, we can say that 29.2 moles minus 2.92, and moles of CO fed to the reactor is 29.2, and it will come out as 90%. Now in part B, we can say that from reaction 1 and 2, theoretically required moles of H2 is equal to 43.8 mole. So we have already estimated 43.8 moles of H2 in part A. So these are the moles based on reaction 1 and reaction 2. Now we can write the percentage excess of hydrogen, and it will be equal to excess amount divided by theoretically required amount. So theoretically required amount is 43.8, and available amount of H2 is 116.79. So excess amount will become equal to available amount minus theoretical amount. So it will become the excess amount and divided by theoretically required amount. So it will come out as 166. Now we can also find out the excess percentage based on only desired chemical reaction. Now only based on desired chemical reaction, that is reaction 1, so theoretically required moles of H2 will be 29.2 into 2, which will be equal to 58.4 moles. So this time we are considering only reaction 1. So in reaction 1, 1 mole of CO is combining with 2 moles of H2. So we have available amount of CO is 29.2 mole. So 29.2 mole of CO will combine with 29.2 into 2 moles of H2. So 58.4 moles of H2 will combine with 29.2 moles of CO. Now we can find out the percentage excess of H2, and it will be equal to excess amount. Excess amount means available amount of H2 minus theoretically required amount of H2 and divided by theoretically required amount of H2, and it will come out as 99.98%. Problem number 3.77. Water vapor decomposes according to the following reaction. Now, what is the mole fraction of oxygen in the reaction mixture in terms of extent of reaction if the system contained n naught moles of water vapor initially? So in this case, we need to find out the mole fraction of oxygen in terms of extent of reaction. So there is a difference between conversion and extent of reaction. Conversion is used for one component while extent of reaction is general and it measures the progress of the reaction. Now we can assume, suppose epsilon is the extent of reaction. So we can rewrite the chemical reaction. First we will write the number of moles of reactant and products which are present at time t equal to 0. So at time t equal to 0, only moles of H2O are present, that is equal to N naught, and moles of H2 and O2 are 0, 0. Now as the reaction will progress, moles of H2O will convert to products. So at any time t, we can write N naught minus extent of reaction, and for H2 it will be epsilon, and as per stoichiometry coefficient for H2 the formation will be epsilon by 2. So we can write total moles at time t will be equal to N naught minus epsilon plus epsilon by 2, and it will come out as N naught plus epsilon by 2. So these are the total moles at time t, and moles of H2O, H2 and O2 which are present at time t is also known. So we can easily estimate the mole fraction of oxygen. So mole fraction of oxygen will become equal to moles of O2 present at time t divided by total moles at time t. So mole fraction can be written as epsilon by 2 divided by N naught plus epsilon by 2.